The edge, the smoke continues to smolder in Highland Park. Nearly 2 days after a warehouse went up in flames, a toxic cloud remains. Despite the dense air, evacuation orders were lifted this afternoon and people were able to return to their homes. However, the Soul Harvest Ministry says they will reopen their doors if the smoke is too thick for people to handle. It's expected to take a few more days before the fire is completely put out.
Now, firefighters were hampered in their extinguishing efforts by low water pressure, something everyone in the city has had to deal with for years now.
And the reason behind it could become the state's newest water scandal. Fox 2's Randy Wimbley has the exclusive investigation tonight. Randy.
Hey guys, Highland Park's mayor and the council president hand-delivered a resolution to Governor Snyder's office. They're asking for the governor to fork over money so the city can get its shuttered water plant back up and running, or to come up with a permanent fix for the backup water system it's currently using. All of that to avoid, they say, a potential disaster.
We need an audience directly with the governor. Maybe we can convince him with direct eye-to-eye contact that we have a serious problem in Highland Park. It can only get worse.
Newly elected Mayor Hubert Yap says the city's emergency water system is bound to fail, and the state will be to blame. For 4 years now, Highland Park has been using its backup water system to provide residents with water from Detroit at the order of the state.
We had a state advisor in our city who actually authorized and ordered the disconnect of Highland Park's water system and the connect with DWSD, or Great Lakes Water System.
Since then, Yap says the city has experienced low water pressure, 20 PSIs when it should be flowing at 50. That, he claims, hampered efforts to beat back the flames at this massive warehouse fire, and that's not all.
And it gets dangerous when you drop to 20 or 30 PSIs, because that's when you have contaminants getting into your water system.
Has that happened yet?
Well, we are having the water tested. We have not discovered any contaminants at this point. Like right now, as you know, we had a major fire yesterday, and our water pressure is very low. We don't know how to raise our pressure because we're on Detroit's system. They control that.
The emergency system, which receives and distributes water from Detroit, was never meant to be permanent. And Yap says the state never came up with plans or provided the money to make it such. It's like driving too fast on a spare tire for too long. It's only a matter of time before it blows.
If our system fails, then we can't get water at all. Highland Park would be similar to Flint. We would probably end up using bottled water.
To help bolster its case for why the state should pay up, Highland Park points to the $26 million it believes MDOT owes it for not paying the city to treat stormwater runoff along Woodward, Davison Freeway, and the Davison Service Drive for nearly 30 years. Exhibit B, a $100 million low-interest loan MDEQ gave to Ann Arbor to rebuild its wastewater plant. Around that same time, Highland Park sought a much smaller loan to make repairs to its plant.
They didn't allow us to apply for the loan on 2 different occasions, but the state treasurer's office had no problem forcing us to apply for a loan of $17 million to bail out Fifth Third Bank and to cut our ties with them. So you force us to do the loan with Fifth Third Bank of $17 million, but you won't allow us to have the loan through MDEQ to take care of our own plant and to take care of our citizens through its water system.
Highland Park's water woes are deep. After not receiving water bills for a few years, residents were blindsided with invoices reaching 5 figures last summer. Many feared they would lose their homes as the unpaid bills, part of a then $20 million debt to Detroit, would be put on their taxes. And this summer, there was even talk of dissolving the city. Highland Park leaders are hoping this resolution and a sit-down with Governor Snyder will lead to the lifeline the city desperately needs. Now, the governor's spokesman, Dave Murray, he says that the proper people within the administration now have that resolution and they will be reviewing it, but there's no timeline on how soon they will address it because right now all of the attention is on Flint and taking care of the people affected by that water crisis there. Huel, Taryn?
Randy, because of what's happened in Flint, the governor may be more receptive to the resolution coming out of Highland Park. Does that resolution state a dollar amount? How much money does the city need?
Well, it does not state a dollar amount, but they are taking a look, the city that is, at what it feels MDOT owes it for treating that stormwater runoff, roughly $26 million. They say that is a good number to start with. And it is interesting to mention that although Highland Park is submitting this resolution to the governor's office, recently Ann Arbor also delivered a resolution to Governor Snyder's office to take care of potential problems that could affect its water system. And so everyone is paying a lot more attention to what they're drinking in light of what's happening in Flint.
Sadly, there are water system problems all over the state, all over the nation. All right, Randy, thank you.
Well, as the